Welcome to the Indie PPC podcast. I am your host, Joey Bidner, and this is the show where we talk about Google Ads from the independent freelancer's perspective. In today's show, I want to talk about sales season, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas. It's all approaching, and I'd like to share all the tools that I use to execute the sale, but more importantly, the methodology that I have when approaching any sale. So in today's episode, I'm actually going to be sharing a segment that I did for the Paid Search podcast. Now, that's another show that I guest feature on from time to time, and I'd recommend everybody listening to this to go follow that channel. Chris Schaefer at the Paid Search podcast is easily, in my opinion, one of the best voices in paid search. I'm not just saying that because I'm on the show from time to time. It is one of the places where I truly learned a lot of the principles that I still hold true today. They're about, I think, close to 400 or 500 episodes deep. He's been running for a long time. And yeah, in my opinion, he's one of the authority figures in the space and hosts a fantastic weekly show. I'm lucky enough to be on that show from time to time. So here is a segment about my methodologies of approaching sales season from the Paid Search podcast. I hope you enjoy it. So sales season is around the corner, and it's that time of year where we start talking about all the different ways we can use Google to make the most of this holiday season or any sale for that matter. So I want to talk about, again, the various tools within Google Ads for search, shopping, and display, all the things that I use to execute a sale. And we're also going to talk about how to spend appropriately for the sale. Now, that's kind of where I want to start because I find it's one of the most important pieces. One of the things that I see a lot that I find is the first misstep in running a sale is to just crank up your spend at the time of sale. Now, the reason why this doesn't work goes back to the methodology of why we run a sale in the first place, okay? The idea of running a sale is to create a pipeline of new traffic to your site and to use the sale as like that carrot on the stick to close this new business, right? Now, if you just have your consistent budget that you have for all the year and just crank up budget at the time of sale, all you end up doing is most of the time just serving that sale price to your existing customers or people who are already in your pipeline. And I will add, at the most expensive time. When I do my scaling of spend, it's actually well before the sale. I like to use that added budget to prime the pipeline of new traffic, right? These few weeks or a month before a sale, people are searching for what they're going to be spending their dollars on. That's when I invest most of my sale season budget. I create this pipeline, and then at the time of sale is when I hit them with the offer, and that's what closes them. This is how you really get the best value out of a sale. Because again, when you offer a sale, you are losing margin, right? You are losing profitability. One thing we often forget is, your return on ad spend goal, let's say it's 2.5 at a 40% profit margin. If you offer a 30% discount, you need a 3.3 return on ad spend to be profitable. Most of the time, you don't necessarily see a massive surge in your return on ad spend. You see a surge in your number of conversions, which means that our play here is customer lifetime value. We want new customers closed, even if it means we're losing money on that initial sale. And the best way to ensure that is to invest your money in those campaign types that get you really good cold traffic, new visitors. So what you want to do in order to establish when you should start scaling your spend is first look at your conversion lag. Now, conversion lag is essentially the amount of time it takes for somebody to interact with one of your ads to convert. And this is different for every business. And Google shows you this metric. So if you're in your campaign view, your time series chart, if you select conversions as one of your metrics, You don't see this all the time, but often what you'll see is a little blue bar underneath this time series chart, and that is your conversion lag. So if you're looking at like 1 month, let's say, it will show this little blue bar over the course of 2 weeks, and you hover over it and it says X amount of your sales come in over the course of 2 weeks. That's your conversion lag. That's how much time it takes for somebody to click an ad and convert. Usually what I'll do is I will start scaling my spend, double whatever my conversion lag is. And again, I will use the campaign types that typically get the best like cold traffic. So that's standard search, standard shopping, not really PMAX. PMAX does a lot of remarketing. So I'll typically scale standard search and remarketing. And the way you can validate this is go into the back end of your store. And as you start scaling spend, just look at like your new visitor counts. You know, you want those going up, not just traffic in general. You want new visitors. Then at the time of sale, usually I don't even really change my budget, because one thing that happens is if you scale up your budget at that time, it's going to put your algorithm all out of whack. For the most consistency, I typically scale before and then keep things constant, maybe increase a little bit at the time of sale, but I definitely do not like double my spend at the time of sale. Again, it's the most expensive traffic. You don't want your campaigns just remarketing to existing customers. And if you don't have a pipeline of new potential traffic, that's all it's going to do. So with that in mind, we've got the theory out of the way. Now we can get into the tools. So for search, there's a few really easy tools that I love. Back in the day, a couple of years ago, to change ad copy, you had to go in and manually put in a headline and then remove it at the end of your sale, right? Those days are over. Google has given us an asset type, formerly known as extensions, right? An asset type called a headline and description asset. These are easily my favorite and my most used. You can essentially set a headline at the account level, so it applies to all your search campaigns, for your sale copy. You can do it at the campaign level as well if you have different copy for different campaigns, but you can set it at the account level or multiple campaigns if you want, and you can put in your headline and then schedule it. So this headline will basically be used as one of your responsive headlines. You can choose to pin it if you want, but it will go across all campaigns, and you can set a start and an end date. So this is something we can set in advance, and then we won't need to come in at midnight to remove the headline to avoid it showing after the sale. So this one is like a no-brainer. Now the next is a promotional asset. This is essentially like another extension that shows, similar to how like a site link extension would show. It shows underneath your descriptions, and you can set your promotional information. You can say the sale that you have, if it's Black Friday or Cyber Monday. You can say if it's a discount or if it's a monetary amount. You can put your promo code in there if you want, and you can also set a start and end date. This again alleviates that heavy lifting that we used to have to do of adding and removing our assets at the time of sale. So schedule everything. And again, for both of these headline, description, and promotional assets, you just go to the additional settings. It's a drop down, or it might be advanced settings, I think it's called. And then you'll see start date and end date there. And you can even select specific times if your sale starts or ends at a specific time of day. Now for shopping, this is the one that I want to spend the most amount of focus on, because there are two ways to do promotions in shopping, one of which is my favorite, the other of which I absolutely hate. And that is promo codes or compare at price. So promo codes are kind of like the first to be adopted because it's kind of the easiest from a website development perspective. You just set a promo code, you apply it to your whole account, and that's it. But this one causes the most problems in Google Ads, because if you want your promotion to show in shopping with the promo code, you need to apply for it in Merchant Center. You need to set up a promotion. You need to select the dates, give the code to Google Ads, and then they need to approve it. And I've had this happen in the past before where you're trying to do this in advance and it gets rejected because the promotion, even though you scheduled it, the promotion's not active yet. And the way that they approve it is they scan your website to see if it's a true promotion. And I just get it reject a lot of the time. I hate using promo codes because it's got a big rate of being rejected. So that's my least favorite. But the way it shows, it shows on the shopping ad and the promo code is there. And usually you click on the ad and then it gives the user the option to copy the promo code to their clipboard. Anyways, that's the one that I use the least amount of the time. And I usually discourage my clients from using promo codes. What I like is compare at price. So compare at price, it's called that way in Shopify. Every platform might have a different word for it, but this is where you set an alternative price to your products. And on the product page on the website, you'll see the old price scratched out in red and then the new price. Now, this data can be imported automatically to Google Ads, and that new price will show in the sale column in your Merchant Center data. And then that old price scratched out in red and new price will show in your products on Google Shopping. So there's no, click the ad to copy the promo code to your clipboard. It's just, here's the price, here's the new price, this is the old price. Click on the ad, takes you to the page. The price is already applied. You don't need to apply it at checkout. It's got far fewer barriers to success. And by that, what I mean is with the promo code, you land on the page and you don't see the sale right away. You have to apply the promo code to your checkout. So the user experience is a little bit broken, right? What I like is sale price to show, click on the ad, sale price shows on the landing page. So that's compare at price. And I can't say enough, compare at price is by far the best way to show an e-commerce discount no matter what sale you're running. So this segues us to display, because if you use dynamic remarketing, which is the form of remarketing where your Merchant Center products follow you around the internet, if you use compare at price, they're also going to show there. So users will see this price on the listing, follow them around the internet. Now, if you use dynamic remarketing, I also encourage you to add one of the 5 headlines as copy for your sale, because often the delivered ad is not just your listing. It will still have a headline under it. The most common that we see is that you see 3 or 6 products with a big headline underneath it, right? And they'll see those beautiful scratched out red old prices and the new price, and then underneath, 40% off site-wide, get it now. That's a beautiful display ad. So that's also what I will usually do. Now that one does not have a headline asset like search does. You have to go in and manually change it and remove it in your display campaigns. I also still like to run static display ads, right? Those display ads that you get your client to design. I find these are really impactful because they have that element of branding. The one thing about dynamic remarketing is they're all about the product and they're very stale. There's no visual branding. They look like every other ad. It's just the discount that gets people's attention. But during a sale when everybody's discounted, it's hard to actually distinguish who's who. So I still like to use static ads that have that element of design to them, especially if you have strong branding, a color palette that you like your ads to reflect. Static, old school display banners are great. So now that we've wrapped up the various ways to conduct your sale, I want to talk about the sale itself. Now, one thing that I want to mention is don't be doing any baby discounts. There's nothing worse than, trying to capture that new potential customer with a 10% discount. It's just not going to move the needle. You're just going to end up losing margin without that surge of new business. So there's 2 ways you can do this. Hopefully, if you have a decent profit margin, you can offer a good discount, knowing that you'll probably lose on that initial sale, but you're counting on the repeat purchase. So if you have a high repeat purchase rate, I think it's okay for your profitability to dip a little bit, again, because we are counting on nurturing those clients after the sale. Now, if you really can't afford that margin loss right away, then think about bundling. Bundling products is still a really great offer for big sales, right? You see it a lot in like the cosmetic industry. Cosmetic industry, they'll very rarely actually have like a big site-wide discount. It's mostly all about bundles. And this is where you can, you know, play with the profit margins of your products. So you can throw in some products that maybe you're sitting on a lot of inventory that you have a worse profit margin on, that you can, you know, get a little bit of benefit from bundling with other maybe loss leader products, right? So I find bundling can go a long way. So the last thing I want to mention is a tool in Google Ads to let the algorithm know you're having a sale. Because as we all know, once you have that big fluctuation of conversion rates, it's going to throw the algorithm off. And the reason we really want to signal to the algorithm that we're having a sale, or most importantly for the first couple days of the sale and after the sale, because it's going to take the algorithm a little bit of time to adjust to this influx of conversion rate. And then once you have that for a few days, it's going to think, oh, this is my new normal. And then once it falls off the cliff, it's going to go, okay, time to recalibrate. So we can use something called a seasonality adjustment. Now, a seasonality adjustment is a tool that allows us to give a few set dates to Google and say, okay, between this date and this date, my conversion rate is going to go up by 20%. And typically what I do is I look at previous years, look at what the conversion rate increase was, and apply that. And that will essentially just tell Google that you've got some big days coming. And what it'll typically do is, even if your budget doesn't scale, like let's say you don't change your budget for the sale days, Google will still increase your spend on those days, knowing that the following days it's going to be a lot worse and it will spend less. Remember, it's not necessarily a huge issue if Google fluctuates your spend, because it's still going to spend your desired monthly budget over the course of those 30 days. So this is another reason why you don't necessarily want to fluctuate your budget day to day too much. You can just tell it, we're going to have a sale on these days, and it's likely going to spend a little bit more on those days because it knows it's higher performing, and then less on the fallout, the hangover after the sale. It will spend less. Now, there was a new tool announced by Google at, they had this event a couple months ago called Think Retail. It was this event just for like e-commerce where they talk about a bunch of new and exciting tools, and they are going to be releasing this new tool called promotion mode, which is essentially the same thing as seasonality adjustment, but instead of saying, okay, my conversion rate's going to go up at this time, it actually, you tell Google that you have a new offer at this time. And this is important because the reason why we have seasonality adjustments is to signal to Google when we have a peak season. Like for example, if you sell back to school items, we know that September is when you're probably going to have a peak season. So you let the algorithm know through seasonality adjustments. Now we basically hijack those for sales, which does the job. But I love that Google is coming out with a promotion mode to give us a tool specifically designed for promotions. So I hope that was helpful. I hope this helps you rethink your strategy for this sale season. Again, I think the key takeaway is scale before the sale, not during the sale, and look at your conversion lag to establish how far out you should increase your budget. So that's it for today's show. If you have a question about one of your accounts, I love to answer questions on the show. So just send me an email at info@joeybidner.com. Leave a comment in the YouTube video or send me a direct message on LinkedIn. All right, I'll see you next time.